Welcome to the Minority Business Report, where we talk about positive things that are happening in Anne Arundel County. I am Joanne Jackson, Anne Arundel County Minority Business Enterprise Coordinator. My guests today are new business owner Bridgette Hamilton of 1429 Manufacturing in Annapolis, and serial entrepreneur Cheryl Queen, owner of Huntington Learning Center in Pasadena. We're delighted to have you on our show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But before we get started, we'd like to have you tell our viewing audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what it is that you do.
Okay.
Bridgette.
So I'm Bridgette Hamilton. I am one of the owners of 1429 MFG Furniture Company. We design custom furniture that's modern with a rustic flair that's actually created as livable art. I'm from Washington, D.C., a native. I've been living in the Annapolis, Maryland area for over 20 years, and I partner this business with Cynthia Gross.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, where you went to school.
So I went to Johnson C. Smith University. I have a sister and two brothers. My parents still live in the Washington, D.C. area, so does all of my family. Went down to Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte, North Carolina. Majored in business and finance and administration. Came back after pursuing my degree and went into the IT industry and worked in that industry for about 20 years. And now I'm owning my own small business of furniture, creating furniture.
Very good, very good.
Nice.
And Cheryl.
My name is Cheryl Queen. I am the owner of the Huntington Learning Center in Pasadena, Maryland. It is a tutoring services. We provide services for kindergarten through 12th graders, as well as adults for their GED and the ASVAB, which is the military entrance exam. I live in Pasadena, Maryland. I'm married to my husband, Donald Queen, for 20 years now. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. And I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
I went to Kent State University. My degree is in computer science. And so I have been in the IT industry, just like Bridgette, for 35 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in 2014, I kind of retired from that business and bought a Huntington Learning Center.
That's
So
great, and
that's
we'll
why-
talk about your transition later on in the show.
Yes.
And it's great to have two business folks like yourself who are female and a minority opening in the county, because in previous episodes we've been talking about the need for Black entrepreneurs to evolve as leaders in this community and be examples for young people coming up in the next generation. So I'm very happy to see you both moving into that arena, and we're always interested in hearing about your transition from the workforce to ownership, business ownership. So we're going to start with Bridgette. Can you tell us about your prior experience that prepared you for this transition, and why you and your partner decided to start a business in today's volatile economic atmosphere?
Well, as I said earlier, being in IT, I was a consultant who worked in various businesses in different entities, anything from entertainment to banking to financials, higher ed, government, state and local. I was responsible for a lot of those projects and leading a lot of those implementations. I think that prepared me for understanding the business, because as you're working through those different projects, you have to truly understand the nature of the business. When Cindy and I decided to go into this business, I thought I would take my business experience, and Cynthia Gross was in the business of printing and production. So we both kind of came together with two different skill sets, but we both had a passion for furniture and design. So we would go out and actually purchase different furniture and look for different antiques and refurbish things. And initially, when we decided to go into business, that's the avenue that we thought we were going to go. So for the past 2.5 years, we were looking to go into that direction. And then one day I said, how about we create it from the beginning? So we started sketching and designing furniture, went out and looked at a couple of different manufacturing companies and different furniture makers to actually make the furniture, and then we came up with some prototypes. We did a lot of testing to make sure that the print itself would be a good wear and that it wouldn't be, productive as far as keeping things moving and afloat for the product itself. And then we started out on our adventure and said, now what's going to be our platform? Where should we go? Who is our audience? And we wanted to target the Washington, D.C. area, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and New York. So we ended up in Annapolis.
That's excellent, excellent. So in your prior experience, you worked in these different companies, and what specifically was it? Accounting? Was it the PR piece?
It was actually accounting as well as payroll, human resource, benefits, integration, technology. And so I was responsible for variations of the different projects. I kind of moved around a little bit in the industry when I wanted to learn something new. Overall became like a solution architect in the IT industry because it kind of gives you the end-to-end process. Because I really wanted to understand the end-to-end and not just one piece of what I was actually responsible for. And so just understanding that from the business, and you really truly, like I said, get a good idea of how a business is actually run. Businesses are often run well when the employees are happy.
And when they know how to handle money.
And when they know how to handle money, exactly.
That's very important.
And I'm equally excited about your new venture, Cheryl. You've been on our program before in the past when you were the owner of Computer Essentials Quick.
Yes.
And can you tell us about your transition from being a computer guru to owner-operator of the Huntington Learning Center?
Okay. Yeah, I have been on the show before. I'm entrepreneurial in spirit. I've had several businesses. As a matter of fact, this is my third business.
Tell us about that.
Okay. My first business, I wanted to see, like Bridgette was saying, I was in IT, a manager, hiring manager. My last position, I was vice president of federal IT services, and so I was running that business operation in the Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia corridor. The headquarters was located in Huntsville, Alabama, which is where the president sat. So I was actually responsible for this area, and so had, all the responsibilities of managing facilities, managing the people, hiring, payroll, and managing the customer. And so at that time, I decided to start my first business, which was Just WIC, Women and Infant Children Program.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was way back.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right.
When
that
I
was
started
back
in 87, 80.
no, I started around 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started around 2000, and I wanted to see whether or not I could run my own business. So that was kind of my first venture into entrepreneurship. And so I had my, my Just WIC store, and it was a good business, actually, for about 5 years, but I was still working. Right, so I was working every day and had someone in the store every day working for me. And things kind of changed because my focus was not on that business.
Right.
And so my second venture was the Computer Essentials Quick. So that was IT consulting and training. And I was associated with the Fort Meade Alliance mentorship program, trying to get into that environment there. And so that's what I was working before I actually ended my IT career. I had a major contract in DC, and we actually lost the contract. And so I had to decide whether or not I was going to continue in IT. After 35 years, most of the businesses and jobs were in Northern Virginia, and I live in Pasadena, so I was doing that drive around the Beltway, right? And so I decided, that I didn't want to do that anymore.
Exactly.
And my husband had retired, and so, I just decided to do something different. Take my, my money and look for businesses in the local community. And so I started looking, and the Huntington Learning Center was available for sale in Pasadena. So now I'm, 15 minutes from home.
Isn't that a blessing?
It is really a blessing. It's really nice, and I love the business. Even though it is for profit, there's a lot of aspects to the Huntington Learning Center that are just rewarding. When you see these children who get an A for the first time in their lives on their report card, and they come in and they're so happy to show me their report card, it's just fulfilling. Or we tutor students who are trying to get into the college of their choice. We do the SAT and the ACT exam prep. And when they get those scores, that allow them to go to the school, of their choice that they want to go to, the parents are happy, and the students are happy. So it's really, really a rewarding business to be in. Huntington has been around for almost 40 years. They have really good processes in place. They know the education business, and they have a really, really good training system in terms of being a franchisee. Yeah. So that was my transition into the tutoring business, into Huntington, from IT into owning my own business. The education aspect was not required. What's required is the ability to run a business. I have 2 full-time employees, and I have 16 part-time teachers that work for me.
Okay.
So, they're certified teachers. They come in after school, and they support and tutor the children. So it's very, very good business.
And it's interesting to hear you technicians, and I was the same way, being an accountant and a business finance person, and then my career just spun off in different directions, because once you reach that plateau of knowing what you know,
Yes.
Exactly.
as an individual, you want to learn more.
You want to learn
know
more.
more.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really interesting when Cheryl was mentioning earlier. I remember, growing up in Washington, D.C., I took a tutoring class my senior year to prep for college.
Oh, okay.
And so that's really good to see that that's still going along, and moving in this industry today, because it was very helpful for me. And I used to catch the bus and go up to, it was up at Georgetown Prep School at the time, near Georgetown University, but it was a private, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was a private, tutoring session that they would do on Saturday mornings. And I went there for like 6 months, just preparing myself for the SATs to get into school.
She's got a great eye for business.
I know.
Because when you said WIC, that hit me, because when I had first started this job, Cheryl was like one of the first people I had met. When you're building your database and meeting people. And when she said that, it just...
Right, you remember that.
Yes,
And a lot of people remember the WIC store. They still ask, do you have that WIC store?
Wow.
It was, the women would come in with their WIC vouchers, and I only sold the WIC items. And it was really good because, it set them apart from going into the grocery store, right? And the stigma associated with it sometimes. And they would send their, husbands could then come into the WIC store and buy. And I had families who adopt children, that were eligible for WIC. So it's a really nice, convenient, you know.
What a great idea.
Convenience
That was
store.
a great
Yeah.
idea,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually do some volunteer work for CASA, court-appointed special advocate for kids, and I'm in Anne Arundel County. So I know about all the different programs that they have for the, you know, parents who adopt or parents who are actually fostering. So that would probably still be a good business if you even wanted to go back into it.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about your company a little bit more, and can you tell us the role of your partners, if you have partners, and what are some of the challenges that you face in your startup?
Well, the roles that myself and Cynthia Gross have, we're both co-owners of 1429, and Cindy is solely responsible for the print and production of what we actually are printing on the furniture. So she works with various companies that actually will put the print on the furniture itself. My role is more from a business sales. Who's our target? Looking to figure out if it's just the consumer as my customer, or do I want to sell directly to the trade? So I've kind of gone through a lot of different research, and that's been the avenue that we're actually taking for 1429, is that most of our customers is that we're selling to the trade. Cindy and I are preparing right now for the High Point market in North Carolina. We're heading down this weekend, actually. It's from April 16th through the 20th, and we have a booth at the Suites at Market Square, booth 1806. So we're going to be going down, debuting our furniture collection to a lot of different interior designers, architect firms, and other to the trade businesses that are going to be joining that market this coming weekend. So that's been pretty much our roles as far as getting the business up and going. But I would say the challenge was really trying to understand who's our market. And trying to understand, do we need a storefront or do we just need an office? And then taking a look at, you know, once we put a product out there, what's the feedback that we're getting? Should we go in another direction? And how many products should we actually put out there at one time? What's the focus? So our focus is starting out with tables, dining tables, coffee tables, as well as beds and side tables. So that's where we're starting at. And then obviously in the future we'll move to other different aspects of furniture. But for right now, that's going to be our focus.
So tell the audience about where your store is.
We're located at 47 Spa Road, Suite 8 in Annapolis, Maryland, next to Compass Rose Theater and across from the Westin Hotel. So we are local. Yeah.
So we hope some of our audience will come by and say hello to you.
Yes, yes.
So your biggest challenge, as you said, was targeting your market. So with both of you having retired into a new business, money was not an object?
Obviously, yes, it was. For a while, I still continued my IT role when we first started. We just started in November of last year, so it's totally a brand new company that we actually started. And so I was working IT as well while growing our business for 1429. And then I just took a leap of faith. And I'm walking out on faith. It's been, you know, growing. The word is out there. Like I said, I really just kind of took a look and researched to find out who's my audience and where are my customers coming from, and what other things can I sell to bring revenue in, why people are actually making decisions on furniture. But realizing very quick that going to the trade was going to be the best option for 1429. So selling directly to retail stores, boutiques, doing the High Point market that we're actually doing, and so forth, as well as consumers, selling to consumers as well. But just putting ourselves out there, you know, going to the bigger retail stores to put 1429 furniture in their stores.
Well, we wish you luck, and as I mentioned to you earlier, there's all kinds of resources out there, so if we can be of any assistance to you at the county, please give me a call.
Okay.
And our Economic Development Office.
Okay, thank you.
And Cheryl, I'm not sure, do you have partners working with you? And
No, I'm the sole owner
okay.
of the business. I actually bought an existing business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the location has been in place since 1997. Actually. So a lot of people are familiar with that Huntington Learning Center in the Pasadena area. I was familiar with it and knew exactly where it was when I was searching for businesses to buy. So I went in, didn't really have a lot of startup challenges because everything was in place. So it was kind of a turnkey business that I bought. My assistant director was there. The teachers were all there,
okay.
and
Excellent.
That's really
I had
good.
students.
Okay.
Right,
You
so I
already
had
had
revenue.
customers.
Right, I had revenue coming in on day one.
I told you she was smart.
Yeah, I tell you.
Told you she was
tell
So
you.
that was a blessing, right?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, but the challenge is to keep the revenue. Because the way Huntington works, they want the students to come in, get the tutoring services that they need, and then move on. And for the young ones, then come back for the SAT, ACT when it's time to go to college, right? So, that the challenge is to continually market and keep the students, coming in.
Can I ask you how many families are members of the Huntington Learning Center?
Right now, I average about, just say 48 to 50 students. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's been about average since I bought the business. We do have a lot in common. I bought my business in November of 2014.
Look at that.
Yeah. So it's been a year and 5 months now. I made some changes to the center. I upgraded it, did some remodeling, made it look more modern in style, when you walk in the door, more appealing and all. So I spent pretty much the first year trying to learn the business, because it is an education business.
Exactly.
I'm IT, right? My current title officially is the center director. So I'm, responsible for the center, and as the franchisee owner, responsible for the business as well too. But since my background is IT and not education, my first year challenge was to learn, the education business and learn how the school systems work in the county. I do a lot of school visits as part of my service to the parents. I go in, I talk to the teachers, we make the school Huntington connection with the students and just kind of partner, with the various schools in the Pasadena, Severna Park, Millersville, Glen Burnie, and even Severn area, because I do have a territory.
Okay.
And so my territory is pretty broad.
Now, is that part of the model, or is that something extra, or you're adding value to by going to the schools and working with the children like that? Is
That is part of the model.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that is part of the model. Huntington promotes, the school visits and actually going in and working with the teachers and the counselors, and letting them know, what we're all about and how we can support them. And it works pretty well for the most part for most schools. They do welcome an outside resource, to support, the learning, the students' learning. Yeah.
What's
Excellent.
interesting, Cheryl, is that in IT, my focus was higher education.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So we do have a lot in common. But yeah, it was higher education. So there's a lot of different rules and government rules that I'm sure you would have to follow and stuff like that. So that's really good.
So nobody really said anything about money. And I'm always nosy. It's like, had the banks been your friends?
I actually, Cindy and I did not go directly to a bank. We were looking at what Anne Arundel County offers for the small business, but literally it's just something that we both invested to do our startup. I think as we grow, we will start to venture out and look for other revenue as far as capital to come in, to get some
That's
help.
good to hear. A lot of entrepreneurs everybody's looking for that pot of gold. So to hear that,
Yeah.
that you can invest, and you need to invest in your own company.
Absolutely. And being in the Arts District, because that's where we're located, is Anne Arundel County Arts District, we did look into different grant programs that they actually offer, but you have to be nonprofit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Cheryl, how are you situated?
Well,
Since you had cash flow, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I had cash flow, but I invested my own money.
Okay.
Yeah, but I went a different route. And this was something that just talking to people in the community, I learned about a way to invest my 401k money to start the business versus taking it out and, you know, being penalized. Okay. And so this is a nice little secret
Thanks for sharing.
that you find out about. And so it is through an investment company. Yeah, that, you know, I was able to roll over my 401k into and start my business that way. So that's what I did. I am looking and talking to banks now and trying to see, you know, what they have to offer me just to keep going. What Huntington has found, a lot of the companies that are the Huntington franchise centers that are really successful, they do TV, broadcast TV ads. Okay, which is very expensive. Okay, and so we have a co-op. I'm part of the Baltimore co-op. There are 8 Huntington franchises in our co-op. And so if we pool our money together, then we could do some broadcast TV just to get the name out there on TV. Yeah, just, you know. So I'm looking in the future to do that. You know, banks have their rules, you know, and because I moved even, you know, 35 years of IT and working, now I'm starting this new business. I am an employee of my company, but it hasn't been 2 years. Right. Yeah. And so that is a requirement, you know, to be employed, you know, with your current company for 2 years. So I'm, you know, I have about 8 months.
There you go.
And, you know, then I should be able to, you know, make some changes.
Yeah, I think
at that
with
point.
Anne Arundel County, I think it's Volt. Is that
Yes, the Volt.
Okay, the Volt program for loans. They're, I think, a little bit more generous from what I've been reading about. But that's definitely something that Cynthia and I are definitely looking into this fall to maybe apply for a Volt loan.
Okay. We have Steve Promosh is the finance director for that program, so we can get you those numbers direct.
Okay.
And call them. They have a very responsive staff, and they'll be at the event on May the 11th.
Oh, great.
And you can get a chance to talk to them.
Okay.
Now let's talk about location. Since you're here in the county, you're in Annapolis and you're in Pasadena. What was special about your location?
Again, for 1429, it was trying to make sure we were kind of in the middle of a location where we wanted to be stationed. So being close to the Washington, D.C. area, Virginia, like I said, Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, as well as being close to home. As Cheryl mentioned earlier, you know, I've done the commute in my IT world. I've been on planes, and the airport was probably my second home. So it's really nice to be close to home to run your business. So that was one of Cindy and I decisions to go to Annapolis area.
And for me, I think I said earlier that Pasadena location had been there since 1997. So it's, you know, a known entity. People know when I mention, you know, the Huntington Learning Center, You know, I say I'm next to BJ's on Ritchie Highway in the plaza, then immediately everyone knows where I'm located, right? So it's a really good location. And more recently, Walmart moved into that center. So the traffic is just, you know, a lot more now.
Right,
A lot more traffic.
Well, there's your market right there.
Yeah, they put they actually moved Ollie's. Used to be close to Ollie's. Yeah, so Ollie's moved out and Planet Fitness moved in. And so so far, I've gotten several customers from Planet Fitness. Yeah, that just see the, you know, the business and come on in and inquire about what we do.
And even though you're not like a child care center, when people come there, they can give the kids some books and set them in there like a reading center or something like that?
If they are you talking about not the student?
Not the student.
Yeah. So some parents do come in and they wait in the lobby, and we do have books for the kids or something for them to play with, you know, while they're waiting. But it's all educational based.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, we give them little things to, you know, if they want to color depending on their age. Some of them bring their tablets in, different things like that. You know, our focus really is on the student and the tutoring services that we provide. We, like I said, have kindergarten through just say our 3rd, 4th graders. They focus on phonics and just learning the basics of reading. And then 5th grade through senior high, it's reading comprehension and math. We also do subject tutoring. So for students who are having issues or struggling a little bit with the algebra or calculus or chemistry and even Spanish, you know, some of the languages, we do subject tutoring for those students. And I also have adults that come in at the college level. So we also provide services for college level math students. And then adults, of course, you know, working on their GEDs or wanting to go into the military.
Well, it seems like a great experience to me. I forgot to mention to you at your grand opening, I was in one of the rooms getting some refreshments, and I had a chance to talk to an 11-year-old, and he says he loves it.
Oh.
He says, my grades are better. I mean, to have that child articulate that to me,
really?
I just asked him how he was doing. And he went into this whole soliloquy about, I love it, and it's so nice, and I'm learning, and so he was one of your free advertisers.
Oh yeah, that's
There
good.
you go.
Oh yeah.
And that's such a great positive outcome from that. So, you know, to hear a child to articulate how excited they are about what they're learning and getting good grades. So that's really good.
Yeah, and Huntington has a really good program. You know, all of the tutoring services are individualized, so we don't have a cookie cutter solution. The students learn at their own pace, and so we're not rushing them through their program. You know, we're making sure that they master the skills before we move on to the next skill. So we have a new advanced study skills program where we're now helping students write their college essays to get into college, and just, you know, helping them with their study skills.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and we also have a new ADHD program where we are working with, we have a lot of children today who are ADD or ADHD, and so we have strategies for those students and for the parents, you know, to help them with their homework, you know, and help those children, you know, to survive in school and do better in school. So, you know, Huntington has, you know, they're reinventing themselves, you know, with new technology, bringing new technology into the center, keeping up with the times in terms of the Chromebooks and, you know, tablets and things like that. So really innovative, with the learning as well.
Well, it sounds like both of you are on the cutting edge of a very successful business.
Yeah.
What's your game plan? I'm going to start with Bridgette. What's your game plan for achieving sales goals in this year? And then in your 3-year plan, what would be driving your growth for the next 3 years?
Sure. Well, like I said, we're starting out with going down to High Point Market. This is our very first show that we are attending, and actually are going to be exhibitors there. We have a shop online that you can actually shop directly online. I think continuing to grow and sell to the trade, because selling to the trade, they order in quantities, more or less than the one-offs that you get from the customers. So that's going to continue to be our focus, and just really trying to continue to figure out who our market is. Also taking a look at our products that we have out there, continuing to grow our products. And also looking to getting into hotel renovations.
Well, my suggestion to you would be is to look at the Minority Supplier Development Council.
Okay.
Or something that gives you direct access to some of those hoteliers. And with a minority emphasis. Now, it doesn't have to be. This could just be another tool for you. Because to buy in and go into that arena, it's very closed. I remember years ago looking at how they do their supplier diversity in the hotel industry. And you really have to pay to buy in to even getting on their list. That could be very expensive.
Yeah.
But yes, it's possible, and there's connections out here that can get you right in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we've looked at some different boutique hotels and so forth. You have a lot of them in the Washington, D.C. area. You have a lot of them in the New York City area. So I've made some contacts, and having just understanding who's going through renovations and what exactly are they looking for, but then putting out a product that's going to be valuable to them during the renovation. So that's good. Okay, I'll definitely take a look at that.
Yeah, the Marriott, some choice hotels, are corporate members of the Diversity Council on not just the local, but the national Supplier Diversity Council does. And you've got a new product. I don't believe you've got a lot of competition in your arena as a
No,
as
it's
a
brand
minority
new to the
feeding.
industry. There's not anyone else that's out there doing what we're doing right now. So it's definitely brand new to the industry. And I think one of the things in the back of my mind, even before I started this business, was the hotels, because being in IT, I lived in a lot of hotels with consulting. And at times I would lay there and say, wow, this bed could be a lot better if the headboard was mounted to the wall. So just getting ideas from there, or waiting for colleagues to come downstairs so that we can leave to go to the client site, and just sitting there looking at all the different furniture that's around. So being in consulting for 20 years, you kind of learn hotels because you've lived in them. So just knowing who to contact, and so getting that list of people there. But I'll definitely look into that as well.
Yeah, because their national conference, they have it around the country. I went out to Denver one year, and I was just blown away. The level of the sophistication and the corporate approach and customer service. And they were really very eager. All the exhibitors, the members, corporate members, were very eager to talk to minority business, especially if you had something new.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my near-term plan is marketing. Is getting out, getting the Huntington name and my location in front of the customer. Right now, I'm working on my surround sound marketing, which is doing different types of marketing, like print, direct mail, web-based, and I've done cable TV. I have been on cable TV. So all those different types of marketing areas, but putting the same message in front of the customer. So That's what I'm doing now. I do a lot of coupons. I have people who come in with their coupons. You know, I offer discounts. And I am marketing in the Severna Park Voice and the Pasadena Voice newspapers. I do direct mail marketing pretty much monthly, and web-based. You know, the banner ads on the website. Of course, everybody's into Facebook and Twitter and those types of areas of marketing as well. I've done, like I said, cable TV, which is totally different from broadcast TV. So the 3-year plan is to get on TV, get on broadcast TV. You know, to drive what we call our inquiries into the center.
Because education, I didn't realize, but tutoring and that educational component is big business.
Yes.
And you've got competition like Sullivan Learning Center and some of the others.
Yeah, Kumon, and there's Mathanasium. But we're different from them in terms of our model because we provide one-on-one tutoring services. And those companies, they don't provide the one-on-one service that we can for the students, especially for the little ones. You know, they need the one-on-one support. And even for the subject tutoring, you know, it's one-on-one that works best for those students. So yeah, and in this area, actually, a lot of them, we're still here.
Yes,
Right.
so it must be good.
Huntington is still here. Yeah, we see a lot, you know, come and go. Franchises come and go in the area, and you know, like I said, that Huntington Center has been in existence since '97, and you know, we're here. We're here to stay.
Well, I'm going to put a plug in for our May 11th business showcase, since both of you will be there. We're going to have about close to 100, 150 people. So that'll be a great way for you to put a lot of business cards out there. You have county staff coming. You have people that I know throughout the region coming. I may even invite the Minority Supplier Development Council. This is like a networking season. There is so much stuff going on between now and the first week in June. So everybody's busy, but they called me today. So maybe I'll put them in the mix and give them a chance for you to meet them.
Great.
You know, it's always that one-on-one.
Yes.
You can Google folks and you can send them information, but if
That's right.
you don't do the eye-to-eye, face-to-face, that's what gets you more contacts.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah, you have to network.
You do.
Yeah,
You really do.
And that's also my focus is to get myself out into the community so people know who I am. Yeah, and so, you know, they see me and associate myself with Huntington.
Well, we'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
I do have a budget. I'm going to try to do as much as I can this year. We're going to kick it off with the May 11th event, and then I'll probably do something in the fall.
Okay, great.
That's great.
Yeah, well, we
Thank
will
you.
support you. I know I will.
Absolutely. I definitely will as well.
Thank you. That's the only way we're all going to make progress is to
That's
support
so
one
true.
another.
That's
And
right.
so I'm really glad to have you guys on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you.
And as we close out this segment, what words of advice or recommendations would you give someone who's interested in starting a business today? Bridgette.
Definitely do your research. Know who your market is. Build out your business plan. Prepare for the what ifs. Even starting a new business, you can have great ideas, but be open to change because you will change your direction starting a new business. I think that's the best advice that I can give anyone who's starting a new business.
Right. You have to be flexible.
Have to be flexible.
And
Yeah,
Cheryl.
and my advice would be similar. You need to know your business and do your homework. You know, do your research, find out who your competitors are, you know, and what they're doing and how you're going to distinguish yourself
Exactly.
from them. You know, what makes a customer want to come to you. And get out, do your networking, find out what's going on in your community, you know, and close to your business. You know, join the different groups, right? So that you're in front of other like-minded business people like you, who can, you know, potentially help you as well.
Right.
Right. So you have to get out there. You know, you can't sit in your business and think that it's going to grow.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You
And
have
most
to get
people
out.
normally join the chambers now, but you've got all these other groups like meetups, that you've got all these different components now to networking. And I think it's really great over the years that it's kind of opened up.
Yeah.
Not taking anything away from the chambers, but it's just good to know different
Right.
kinds of people, different kinds of businesses.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to ask you a question off the script. If you had an unlimited supply of money, what would you do to help your business?
That's a good question.
I know what I would do. I would open up another Huntington.
Oh, great
Yes, I
idea.
would. I was looking at doing that, right? Anyway, but if I had more money, I would definitely open another location, you know, because I really think that just in being in this business, there is a need out there for tutoring services
There is.
today. And, you know, there's a lot of students who are struggling and need help. You know, beyond what the school system is providing. So I would definitely open, you know, more
I feel your
centers.
passion. I feel it coming out of you.
Yes,
I see you talking business, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, there is a need. That's what I would do. If I had more funds, I would definitely open, you know, another center.
And for
Bridgette.
1429, instead of me putting my furniture out to other manufacturing company, truly become that whole brand of 1429, where we're not just designing the furniture, but we're actually building the furniture in-house and become that, you know, United States company instead of going overseas. All of our stuff is actually
Yes.
made in the United States. So I would expand our business and actually really become that production company of turning that furniture
Well, do you
around.
also know that there's a manufacturing association in Maryland?
No, did not know that.
I think it's actually called the Maryland Manufacturers Association that's doing a number of lobbying things with the state of Maryland to bring businesses. So once you get past your first year,
That's right.
you really could just Google it because they're doing some really good things in the state of Maryland.
Okay.
They're bringing manufacturing back up to the fore
Oh,
and
good.
pressing the government to loosen up the tax structures and the things that are driving businesses out of the country.
Absolutely, yes.
But I'll keep you posted.
Please do. Please do, yes.
Well, thank you, Bridgette and Cheryl, for being on our show today, giving us some of your insights and recommendations.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to Channel 98, Verizon 38 for the Minority Business Report, which airs daily. You can also watch us on YouTube. If you have any comments or suggestions regarding this edition of the Minority Business Report, please contact me at the Office of Central Services in Annapolis on 410-222-7620. We are here working for you. Peace and blessings. The following bids are available from the Anne Arundel County Purchasing Office.